My name is Roddy Doble. I'm from Southbury, Connecticut in the US, and I'm a professional ballet dancer. A principal dancer here with Les Grands Ballets. Before dancing here, I danced with Boston Ballet for 6 years and American Ballet Theater also for 6 years. So I've been really fortunate to travel a lot for this job and gone a lot of places that I never would have thought to go on my own. Paris is a standout. That's kind of a cliche. I mean, who doesn't want to go to Paris? But that was a really special tour for me. I've been to Tokyo quite a few times. Japan is incredible. And I think maybe the one that caught me by surprise the most was I went to Muscat, Oman, and had just an amazing time. It's someplace, again, I never would have necessarily on my own thought to travel there, but I had just the best time on tour. Living in Canada has been great. One of the best things, I would say, the people are fantastic. I mean, it's a really, I felt very welcome here. Everyone's been very nice. You know, having just been through having a baby, I'm a big fan of this universal health care. That's a real win here, I think. So I would put that on the list too. So I started taking dance classes when I was 6 years old. My parents are both musicians and played guitar and sang together for years. And so even when my mom was pregnant with me, she had the guitar pressed against her belly, you know, every night. And, you know, so I think for me, music was always a very physical experience, and music was always on at home, and I would dance to it. And they would ask me somewhat relentlessly if I wanted to take dance classes, and I said, you know, absolutely not. It was for girls. Very typical little boy response. So I played a bunch of sports. I went to the town's local karate school, and we played the soldiers in the local ballet school's Nutcracker. So I was in my first Nutcracker as a 5-year-old. And then I think the following year, my best friend in school started taking classes and came in talking about it being a lot of fun. And I think my parents had finally stopped asking me at that point if I wanted to take it. And so I caught them off guard, finally saying I wanted to. And, you know, did it for years, just kind of, you know, I said it was to help with sports and to flirt with girls. And I don't know what the turning point was for me. I think it was probably seeing a tape of Baryshnikov and just realizing, you know, if I kept at it, that I could maybe do something like that. And just for me, that marriage of athleticism and artistry, that's really what attracted me, having both those things. So yeah, I decided I wanted to be a professional ballet dancer by 9 or 10 years old. And that never relented. I just got more and more serious and focused on my training, and you know, was definitely lucky along the way, but started professionally at 17 in New York. And yeah, I'm still at it, and hopefully will be for a while if my body holds up. I think sometimes, and I always forgive people for thinking this, but it's easy not knowing much about ballet to view it as a hobby. You know, I've been asked after shows, you know, oh, what do you guys do during the day? Like thinking we just kind of, you know, this is a hobby that we all get together and organize a show. You know, and I don't begrudge that viewpoint. Again, I'm sure I'm very ignorant to many other people's jobs. But yeah, I think just recognizing the hard work and sacrifice that goes into it. You know, it's a job where most people's perception is that glorious, glamorous, you know, tip of the iceberg that they see when we're on stage. And that's a very, very small fraction of, you know, how our time is spent. That's the reward at the end of years of grinding and working. And I think also the curse sometimes of an art form is your job is to make it look easy. And so sometimes I think people don't realize how difficult some of the things we do are because we're doing them well. So that occasionally feels like a way we shoot ourselves in the foot. But I would say acknowledging the effort and sacrifice that goes into that career is something that I always appreciate when people acknowledge. I would say my wife has probably been the biggest influence, especially if she watches this video. I gotta get points for that. No, but in all seriousness, my wife, I think, you know, what I loved about her very early on was I felt like she, saw the best in me. She always believed the best in me, and that helps you to, be the best version of yourself also. And in the time that we've been together, we've moved around quite a bit, and I feel like, you know, being with her has made me better. So I would say her for that. The advice I would give to aspiring artists, it may sound silly, but keep enjoying it. I think this art form attracts a lot of, perfectionists. And there are very good things about having that as a quality, but I think, I know personally the risk that comes is you can start to feel like you're not worthy of feeling good about your dancing yet. You think, okay, if I can just improve on this, once I can do this, then I'll feel like I can feel good about how I dance. And the truth of the matter is, you never quite feel that way. So if you're waiting to really feel like you've made it, that day never really comes. So you might as well enjoy that journey. It's always worth enjoying and feeling good about. Whether it is a hobby or whether it is something that you pursue as a profession. It's an amazing profession. If given the choice, I would do it all over again. But there's also, it can be difficult to make your passion your job. When that's your livelihood, there are times when it feels it doesn't belong to you the way it used to. And there are always going to be days where it's a job, and days when you have to perform when you're kind of struggling. You don't really feel like putting yourself out there, but you still owe it to the audience and to yourself to give it your all. So I would say, yeah, keep enjoying it because it's fleeting. I mean, it's a short career. And so I think the lessons you learn, you have to learn quickly. And if you're waiting, to enjoy it down the line, that time is going to fly by. And I think we will regret not enjoying those moments. So that's something I have really tried to remind myself. Yes, I can always be better. I can look at any show I've ever given, and if I want, I could tear it apart and have myself in tears over it. But that's not a good outlook to have. At the end of the day, I want to enjoy as much of this career as I can, so that I want to enjoy it for the moment, and I want to, when I'm ultimately at the end of it, I want to be able to look back and feel like I got everything I wanted to out of it. So that's the advice I would say. Just enjoy it.